history workshop. And many of you were here for our first family history workshop, and one gentleman in particular took the information that he got from that and took it to heart, and wrote a book in just a few months' time. It's just amazing, and so he'll be sharing the fruits of his labor with you all today. So prepare to be inspired. We have a couple more events coming up in the next few months. Next week we have a Women's Day event, a Women's Day discussion panel, and we have 4 panelists, and we'll be talking about women's issues that are important to us. And in April we have our annual Italian American Literati event, which promotes Italian American authors, local Italian American published authors, and so that's always a fun event too, to see what's new amongst our community of authors. So I'd like to present you nostro capo.
You forgot the mimosa.
Mimosa. Oh yes, next week we're sharing. We're having mimosas at the Women's Day event. So if you come for nothing else, so I'd like to present to you Dr. Dominic Candeloro, our leader, director of the Italian Catholic Cultural Center.
Okay. Oh, thanks for coming. Oh, if anybody knows where you could find a live mimosa plant.
Yeah.
We've ordered some artificial ones, but
They're beautiful flowers,
yeah.
the mimosas.
Okay. Welcome. It's going just as I had hoped. There are a lot of familiar faces returning to give us your reports. This is a consultative session where we want to hear from you and give you some ideas and suggestions as to how you could increase, and it'll be a little bit maybe tedious for some to go around the room, but we do want to go around the room. We have with us Dan Dominic, the Fra Noi genealogist, the sort of champion Italian-American genealogist in the Chicago area, and we also want to talk to you about our website. The Italian Cultural Center Casa Italia Library website can be accessed by simply typing in Chicago Italian Archives. A couple of years ago, when you typed that in, you got 200 or 300 Italian restaurants. Now it comes up first, even on, it's magic. I didn't pay Google anything. I guess I've gone to it enough myself it's imperfect. We did it ourselves, but it has a lot of stuff on it. And let's see if we can scroll a little bit. You can even go to it via tinyurl.com/Casa Library. You could, and then you could, that's our library Facebook page. Go up, our library brochure. You can see our brochure online. Go up. Other way. And there are pages of visiting the library, recommended links, interviews. Interviews are very important. We did in 1979, 1980, 100 interviews of Italian Americans. Mainly they were older people, second generation, maybe third generation. And we, through Tony Morrow, has helped us to put all of those things on. They've been on for 10 years. You can see the transcript, the written transcript. You can hear in most cases, and sometimes you have to use earphones to hear them well. You can hear the actual interview that was done. Now it's 44 years ago. And these people are talking about growing up in the 20s and 30s. And so it's, there were 100 of them, so some of you can find that there are people who are part of your family history. And then what other things? With Franoi, some interesting historical things that have been in the Franoi are there. And then our publications, this is about the publications that the Casa Italia has created, most of them on Amazon. And then essential resources. There are 2 books about Italians in Chicago that are not easy to get. One is the dissertation by Rudolph Vicoli, who is my mentor. That was never published, but he did it in the early 1960s. And you can see it online, full text, word for word. And it goes up to World War I, through World War I. And then there's Giovanni Schiavo's 1925 or so history of the Italians in Chicago. And a lot of that is contemporary 1920s Chicago. So what was going on in Chicago? There's another thing, and it's a directory of Italians in Chicago in the 1930s. And that was done by a woman. We have a link to that as well. And so you can check a lot of things about Italians in Chicago. Then there are links to a lot of the pictures that were collected for the books that I've done on Italians in Chicago. I've done 4 of them. And the narrative book, Chicago's Italians, is probably something that you should read or know about somewhere along the way if you're writing about your family as Italians in Chicago. So those are some resources, and our website is pretty long. It's duplicative. It's makeshift in some ways. If anybody would like to edit it, I'm open to volunteers. So that's just another resource that I thought you should have for background about the general history of Italians in Chicago that you can plug into what you're doing. Let me call on Dan. Dan, what's new in the genealogical world?
Very little. New. Well, I'm going to find that out probably next weekend because I'm flying to Salt Lake City. There's a conference out there called Roots Tech, and it's a genealogy technology combined conference. So part of it is going to be that, the family search people, ancestry people, all the different websites are going to give talks on what's happening new in their website. So this is exactly the wrong week to give that update because I'll get the update while I'm out there, and I'm intended to attend all of those presentations about that sort of thing. And I'm trying to make contact out there with a fellow who runs all of the Italian films in Family Search and the Italian records in Family Search, so that when we find things that are not correct, when we find things that maybe they need to go try to get for us, this is the guy we need to talk to. But so far, his email addresses have eluded me, or he's deleted my emails or something. But I hope I can bump into him because he's based out there in Salt Lake City. One of the big books on genealogy, green and red book that I know we have a copy of in the library here, is by Trafford Cole. Italian name right there, Trafford Robertson Cole. His son, Joel, is the head of all the Italian filming and the Italian everything on Family Search. So if I can get contact with him and I can speak his computer lingo, then we might get a little bit more say of what we need from our records.
Okay, excellent, excellent. Okay, and what I'd like to do now, and I ask for your patience and concentration, is to just go around the room and have you identify yourself and give me a progress report on, or give everyone a progress report on your work toward publishing your family history. And we will contemporaneously ask you questions or give you suggestions or take our hats off to you or what, depending on the situation. So I ask you to concentrate on what your fellow people are doing. We can probably share a lot of information, either formally across the tables or informally in the breaks of this event. So let's go first. Tell us your name. I'm horrible on names. I was horrible on names 40 years ago. I'm absolutely horrible on names now. So forgive me, that's one of my disabilities. Yes, we'll start here on my left.